Hi, and welcome to the Chamber Exchange TV show. I'm Cait Lubelczyk, the Vice President of Marketing and Communications for the Worcester Regional Chamber of Commerce. I'm very excited to be here today. We have some very special guests. We'd like to first thank our sponsor, Bank Hometown, for making this TV show possible. Today with me is Eric Butler. He is the founder of Broadway in Worcester, and he has some very exciting things to tell us today. Eric, welcome.
Thanks, Cait. Thanks for having me.
So Eric and I go way back, 20 years back, so I was very excited to be here today to interview you. We have a very special guest coming to Worcester. Let's tell everyone about her.
We do. Chita Rivera, a bona fide Broadway legend. Chita received 10 Tony nominations throughout her career. She won 2 Tony Awards. She received a Lifetime Achievement Tony Award. She received the Kennedy Center Honors, and even President Barack Obama honored her with the Presidential Medal of Freedom. So she is a Broadway star in sort of the capital B and S, bad combination, definition of a Broadway star.
I just think it's absolutely incredible. I mean, Worcester, we have great acts coming through all the time. We had Jerry Seinfeld last week. We have some great comedians coming to the DCU, but for a Broadway lover and musical theater lover like me, and I'm sure there are so many others in the city and surrounding towns, having someone, of the caliber of Cheeto Rivera here is really exciting. So how did you get her?
Well, we launched Broadway in Worcester last year, last March, with Laura Benanti, another Tony Award-winning star, and she was phenomenal. She was warm, she was gracious, incredibly talented. And I was thinking to myself, how do you top someone like Laura Benanti? And really the only way to do that is to bring in Broadway royalty, someone who has spent their entire career in the arts on Broadway. She originated roles in Chicago and Bye Bye Birdie, as well as West Side Story, the original Anita. So I was thinking big for the next one, and I wanted to get someone who was easily recognizable by generations of fans in Worcester, but also someone that could get the city really excited.
And we have a huge Latino community in Worcester, so I hope that they come out to see Chita. I'm sure she's going to put on a phenomenal show. So what made you start Broadway in Worcester? You said it was founded last year with Laura Benanti as your first huge guest. So what made you think of this program?
Well, going back quite a few years ago, I was director of development at St. John's High School in Shrewsbury, Massachusetts.
Nice shout out.
Yeah, and at St. John's, we were building a new academic and fine arts building, Founders Hall on campus. And like I said, I love to think big. So when we were opening that facility and doing our grand opening for the J Performing Arts Center, I wanted to get a Broadway star to come in and be a part of that celebration. And we were lucky enough that year to get Kelly O'Hara, who was another Tony Award-winning star. She had just won the Tony Award starring in The King and I at Lincoln Center. She took her only day off in the week, Monday night, to come up to Shrewsbury to open the facility. And I looked around me, and I noticed all the folks that were there that night had such a genuine appreciation and awe in their eyes about seeing this level talent locally. And a lot of them hadn't been to a Broadway show in years. And I'm thinking, wouldn't it be great to bring Broadway to Worcester on a more regular basis? And that was sort of the birth of the idea, and eventually, was able to get around to it and launch last year.
That's awesome. And you're doing it at the JMAC Brickbox Theater, which is such an intimate setting. So it's not like you're sitting, hundreds of feet away from this Broadway star. You're right there in it, which I think is just phenomenal. I personally have tickets. Me and my daughter are going to go. I can't wait to see Chita. So you also, there's like a second part to this. I don't know how you sleep, but you have, because you're so busy, not because. So you have this other part of Broadway in Worcester where you kind of give back to the community. And I know that last year you had Worcester Public School and local high school students in. So why don't you talk about that, your workshop part of this?
Sure. I always wanted to make sure that there was an education component to what we do with Broadway in Worcester. So Laura was gracious enough to host a masterclass for about 150 students from Worcester area high schools and colleges. Chita will host a question and answer session. That session is always accessible and free to students and arts educators anywhere in central Massachusetts. We have a huge contingent coming from Burntcoat High School, so it's great to see sort of that arts community and that arts high school participating. We have about 110 students and teachers already signed up, but registration is open through this Friday on September 23rd. So any teachers or students out there that want to meet Cheetah and ask her a couple questions about her incredible career are welcome to come to the JMAC at 4 p.m. on Friday.
And this is funded by grants, am I correct?
We're very lucky. We have the Fuller Foundation supporting us, the Fletcher Foundation, and also Unibank as well. So, we have great partners in the community that want to make sure that arts are accessible to our students and our arts educators. So, really grateful for their support.
That's awesome. And I know that you don't just talk the talk. You are constantly in New York City, scoping out talent, scouting out. What are some of the shows that really struck you this year?
I'm really excited about Sing Street, which is actually in Boston at the Huntington, but it's going to be transferring to Broadway, hopefully. I saw it at New York Theater Workshop, a group of Irish kids creating their own band and, sort of a coming of age family drama. And it's set at a Christian Brothers High School, so sort of hitting all the soft spots for me.
Yeah, you really feel that one. So what's coming up? I mean, so you're just building this business. You have Laura Benanti, Chita Rivera. You kind of think like, how can you go up from there? Having these two big stars, like who would you like to see in Worcester?
My dream get would be probably Leslie Odom Jr. or Lin-Manuel Miranda. So I think those two would be incredible for the crowds in Worcester, but really great working with the kids.
They watch this show, so so we'll just put a plug in.
Make sure their agents get a copy of this.
They will.
But we have actually some really exciting names coming up for the spring and next fall. I'm not at liberty to sort of mention their names until the contracts are signed, but I think Worcester's going to be really excited. And they're actually individuals, they're stars who actually love working with kids and have a commitment to education as well. So that component will live on, but they also put on a really, really amazing show as well.
Mm-hmm. And now you're very much involved in the arts in Worcester, aside from Broadway in Worcester. You're on the board of the Worcester Arts
Cultural Coalition.
Cultural Coalition. And you've been a Worcester kid. You've been here your whole life. Went to college in Worcester. What would you? I mean, I consider you kind of an expert on the arts in Worcester. What would you like to see happen in Worcester in terms of theater and arts and music? Like, what would be your ideal situation for that?
No, I think, the art scene in Worcester is really vibrant. Our former city manager always referred to the arts as the secret sauce of Worcester. And I think there's a lot of truth there. What I love about working with the Cultural Coalition is the diversity and the number of organizations that we have. We have 80 plus Cultural Coalition members. Wow. They represent sort of the breadth of the city and the heart of the city, everything from the visual arts to performing arts to cultural and ethnic organizations. So I think you can see sort of the life of the city and the heart of the city in all of its arts organizations and programs. We're lucky to have the JMAC space, which makes space accessible for arts organizations like Broadway in Worcester or Worcester County Light Opera. I've directed some shows there. We've used their space as well. And to see the number of organizations that are supported through the Barr Foundation, particularly this year, that have allowed these organizations to have a home, find a home, and their team and staff there are incredible. So, I think Worcester's in a really good spot to have a big theater like the Hanover, to have a smaller theater like the JMAC, and everything in between. So I'm really excited to be part of the scene.
Yeah, I'm excited to see everything that's happening too. I think it's incredible, especially what you're doing with the high school students. I think that's great because I think the arts in schools are so important, and so if they can, see these stars, outside, funded by grants, I think that's really awesome. So just really quick, tell us how we can find tickets. Hopefully there are tickets left. Your website, email address.
Sure, tickets are on sale at www.broadwayinworcester.com or jmacworcester.org. So tickets can be purchased on either site. But the concert's this Friday, September 23rd at the JMAC, and Chita Rivera will be joined by Seth Rudetsky, who is a celebrity in his own right, incredible pianist and host. So they'll be, telling stories, singing songs. It should be a really great night.
That's awesome. I can't wait. Well, Eric, thank you so much. Eric Butler from Broadway in Worcester, thank you for joining us on the Chamber Exchange TV show. We'll be right back.
These days, you've got your hands full in life. That's why we help you bank simply and securely with tools like Face ID and Touch ID. It's why we make it easy to make purchases on the go and get cash back while you're at it. Why we help you quickly deposit checks wherever you are. And it's why we lend a hand with sending and receiving money right from your phone. So even when you're on the move, you can manage your finances. Bank Hometown. Unlock your potential.